In this slide cast we're going to look at the cost estimate cycle. The cost estimate cycle is what contractors do and consultants too. In fact, anyone in business does when they have to continuously improve their cost estimates and knowing what it costs them to do business. But in our case we're looking at a contractor, so doing construction work. It's a means of recording the actual construction costs against the rates used in the schedule. The rates are updated and used for future estimating. So you can see there's a circuit there. It starts at the project tender estimate. So you put your tender in, you estimate it, you put it in, you put in your contract price. When the work is underway, you do cost control. You're gathering costs. You are comparing the estimated cost to the actual cost. Out of that comes the actual cost information, so you know how much it actually cost you, and then that information is fed into the costing system, which is all the information of what previous jobs were like, and that information is used in future estimates. So you can see this big circuit there. So let's look at each one of those in turn in a bit more detail. Cost database is you collect previous contract cost information. You modify that for cost indices and trends. So as we discussed in the previous topic, prices go up, and it's important that you keep a track on that and you adjust those costs as required. So when a new tender is advertised, you review the contract, determine what is required. You go in hunting into your database to see if you can find similar projects or similar works that you can use. You look at those costs. You see is it similar or not, or what sort of adjustments do I need? Is it a bit bigger? Is it smaller? Is the soil different? Is it at a different time of the year? All those sort of things. And so you adjust it up or down, whatever is required, to adapt the cost information you have in your database to the actual situation. That information is provided to the people doing the tender estimate, or usually it's the same person. The tender cost estimate is figuring out how much it's going to do to cost to do a job. So you get a tender as advertised, you decide you're going to go for it as a contractor. You need to put together a tender price, and that's what the tender cost estimate is all about. All those rates and costs that go into the schedule of prices are what you're trying to figure out. So the tender sum is the amount you're offering, and you need to be accurate. Remember that you can't go back to the client and say I'd like more money because I made a mistake doing my estimate. The risk of overrunning your cost lies with the contractor, it doesn't lie with the client. So if the contractor does inaccurate estimates and runs over budget, then that is money that they have to pay, not the client. So it's very important that you get the tender cost estimate right. If you're too high, you're not going to get the job. So it's a very fine line to walk. The project cost control, once you have won a tender, you then need to run the project. And you'll recall in the previous slide, winning the project is half of the battle. The other half is controlling the costs so you bring it in on budget. And the budget is what you said you'd do it for in your tender price. So you're measuring your costs as you go. So field costs, you're measuring how much labour works on a particular job. You look at the materials that you use on site. You're looking at how long plant operates for. You're looking at how much plant costs to run. You're looking at how the performance rates of plant. What's the productivity like? Is it what you thought it would be? And you're recording all of that information. That recorded information is the actual project cost information. In the project tender cost estimate, that was what we estimated, and now we have the actual costs. So you would want to compare the two and see, did we estimate it right, or did we make a few mistakes? If we made a few mistakes, we want to know about it so that we don't do it again. So that's the cost estimate cycle. You can see that it goes round and round and round. It is important that contractors do this, that they update their costs and stuff like that, because having a good idea of what it costs you to do work is one of your main assets as a contractor.